Angry that hundreds of parents had to cry their eyes out today, not knowing if their child would come home from school. And angry that we have to live day after day when we turn on the news to see rampant gun violence claiming life after life. And all of this is because politicians in this chamber that have been bought and paid for by the NRA, that put profits over people, over human lives.
Freshman Congressman Maxwell Frost is calling out the congressional lawmakers who have consistently failed to pass common sense gun legislation to minimize the amount of carnage we experience in this country. Of course, this follows yet another school shooting, this time in Nashville, Tennessee. Here's more from his speech on the House floor.
I rise today because I am furious, angry that 3 kids died today in Nashville, Tennessee. Angry that hundreds of parents had to cry their eyes out today, not knowing if their child would come home from school. And angry that we have to live day after day when we turn on the news to see rampant gun violence claiming life after life. And all of this is because politicians in this chamber that have been bought and paid for by the NRA, that put profits over people, over human lives. Cowards who wasted our time last week, passing a parental bill of rights, not giving a damn about the rights of children to be able to go to their classroom without the fear of being gunned down due to senseless gun violence. It is likely that at this moment, the next mass shooter is planning their shooting. What will this chamber do about it?
It's always nice to see how these speeches turn out for freshman congresspeople who identify as progressives. Enjoy it. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I love seeing it. It's incredibly fiery and powerful and accurate. Everything he's saying is accurate. And we're gonna get into all the details in regard to how Republican lawmakers have reacted and responded to this. Again, how many school shootings have we had already? So yet another school shooting. Cenk.
Yeah, so man, so far I love Maxwell Frost. Give me more of that. Okay, so very clear. My colleagues are bought and paid for. Thank you. Thank you for finally saying it. I'm not sure that a single other legislator has actually said that on the floor of Congress, because that's the red line for Washington, D.C. That's the third rail. You can't criticize your beloved colleagues and call them corrupt, but they are corrupt. So it took a young person to go in there and go, I don't give a damn about your stupid old rules. No, these guys are obviously bought and paid for. Thank you. And he calls them cowards. That's exactly right. They are cowards and you should have the courage to say it. Finally, someone fighting back. To Anna's point, man, Maxwell, whatever you do, do not stop doing that. Because what's gonna happen next, and I guarantee you it's happened in the last 24 hours since he gave that speech.
Absolutely.
Is that not Republicans, fellow Democrats, I guarantee you pulled him aside and said, hey, Maxwell, you gotta know the rules around here. You gotta know the etiquette. You can't do that. Those are our cherished Republican colleagues. Oh, we love them so much. What if they talk about how we're bought and paid for? Maxwell, do not stop. You're like the only hope left. Everyone else is totally stopped and not saying a goddamn thing. So go get them.
So let's talk about Republican lawmakers, both on a state level in Tennessee and also a federal level. We'll begin with the federal level, since that's what Maxwell Frost was talking about in that video that you just watched. So I want to start with Republican Representative Andy Ogles, who is also a freshman member of Congress and a massive gun proponent, okay? So he represents the district where the school is actually located. Here's what the statement was after the shooting from this congressman. My family and I are devastated by the tragedy that took place at the Covenant School in Nashville this morning. We are sending our thoughts and prayers to the families of those lost. As a father of 3, I am utterly heartbroken by this senseless act of violence.
Are you?
So that seems like a perfectly fine statement if he actually could prove that he genuinely wants to do something to help these families and prevent these types of shootings from happening in the future. But I bring you his 2021 Christmas card, which was tweeted out by Fred Guttenberg. Fred Guttenberg, of course, lost a child of his own in the Parkland shooting. And in this photo, of course, you see the freshman congressman with his family, and they're all holding massive weapons because that is the message they want to send to the American people. This is who we are. And so this is just tweeted out right after the shooting and after the statement from the freshman congressman.
Yeah, so look, I know we have these giant cultural divide in the country, but to me and to hundreds of millions of Americans, that picture looks like it's a picture of two psychotic parents who are greatly endangering their kids, their neighborhood, and the general community. I mean, that is like, if you, okay, and I can prove it to you super easy. All you gotta do is switch the identities. You have that same exact picture in front of not a Christmas tree, but some sort of Muslim, like a mosque, let's say, and make the family, give the dad a turban and make the family Muslim. I guarantee you every right winger say, look at these lunatics. Look at these killers, nut jobs, right? You get a nice Christian family in front of a Christmas tree and they're like, oh yes, that's our psychos. So what happened? You encouraged, and next thing you know, someone decided, hey, you know what, that's your congressman. Hey, my congressman's got a pretty good idea. Why don't I get an assault weapon and start killing people? Posing with an assault weapon with your kids. He should, honestly, the Child Protective Services should have been called instantly. What kind of a lunatic gives his small little kids assault weapons and encourages them in that direction?
This is what politics has been, turned into, basically, right? I mean, he's not gonna do anything for you, right? He's not actually gonna fight for any of his constituents. He's not gonna make their lives better. He's not gonna fight for better wages. He's not gonna fight for better working conditions. He's not gonna fight for healthcare. He's not gonna fight for anything that'll materially improve anyone's lives. In lieu of that, though, he'll engage in the theater, the posture of, I'm a big gun proponent, look at me, oh my God, we're owning the libs by putting these weapons in the hands of our own children at a time when there are endless mass shootings on school campuses. This is what he represents. And by the way, during his campaigning, he made that abundantly clear. Let's go to what his campaign website said. So in his campaign website, he said he would fight tirelessly to protect Second Amendment rights. It states, disarming the people is the most effective way to enslave them.
Congratulations, they're entirely unslaved.
And we must remain vigilant when anyone seeks to erode our civil liberties. I mean, there are all sorts of civil liberties in America that have been eroded, and I haven't heard a single Republican complain about it at all. Whether it's the surveillance state, whether it's all sorts of government agencies spying on American people indiscriminately. I mean, that's been going on for quite some time now. But when it comes to guns, God forbid there's any common sense gun legislation or any common sense gun reform. And that's coming from someone who has a gun, who believes in the right to carry a gun if you're a law-abiding citizen. Lauren Boebert, another lunatic, we've shown you this image a million times before, but it's another Christmas card with her children holding weapons. Now, let's go.
Psycho, total and utter psychotic lunatic.
So, unfortunately, local Republican lawmakers are no better. State Representative Tim Burchett was asked what should be done to protect kids, and here's how he responded.
What should be done to protect people like your little girl from being safe at school?
Well, we homeschool her, but that's our decision. Some people don't have that option, and frankly, some people don't need to do it. I mean, they don't have to. It just suited our needs much better.
Thank you.
You good?
If there's any role for Congress to play in reaction to this tragedy, obviously this is your state now, but It's happened in every other state.
Oh, it's happening. It doesn't matter what state it's happening in. We're all Americans. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. They all believe red. And they're believing a lot. I don't see any real role that we could do other than mess things up, honestly, because of the situation. It's like I said, I don't think a criminal's going to stop from guns. You can print them out on the computer now, 3D printing, and there's really, I don't think you're going to stop the gun violence. I think you got to change people's hearts. As a Christian, as we talk about in the church, and I've said this many times, I think we really need revival. We're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals.
Why are you in elected office? Like, why even pursue that if you think you're worthless and have no interest in actually doing your job? Like, that's what I took away from that conversation. He seemed annoyed as soon as the reporter asked him, what can Congress do to make this situation better? I mean, it's just like, oh God, this question again.
Yeah, no, he literally said, we're not going to fix it.
No, but you know what? I respect the honesty because that's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth. It's the truth when it comes to Congress on a federal level. It's the truth when it comes to those state lawmakers. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care. We're gonna keep covering these stories of children getting slaughtered as they're in schools, and they're gonna keep telling us they don't care. So the real question is, to the electorate, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Do we keep electing these pathetic lawmakers, both on the left and the right, to be quite honest with you? Or do we demand better for ourselves, for our children, for our communities? Or do we just accept this? Is this the new normal, where we just accept that every time you drop your kids off at school, there's some chance that they might get slaughtered by a mass shooter? This country is embarrassing.
I mean, he said we'd mess things up. What, worse than now? We have more than one mass shooting per day. We have nonstop massacres at our schools. How much worse can it get? And he says blithely, criminals are going to be criminals. Really? But there are criminals in Japan and there's no mass shootings. There's criminals in Australia and there's no mass shootings. There's tons of criminals in the UK. There's no mass shootings. Why? Because they don't hand an assault weapon to every person who comes in the door. They don't hand it to their young kids and say, oh yeah, the answer to everything is an assault weapon. That's my civil liberties. Come on, guys. Like, really, for a Republican? Let's have an honest conversation. Look, I get it. Sometimes people don't feel safe. You live in a remote area. I knew a woman who suffered sexual assault.
You live in LA.
And she lives and she carries a gun. I get it, right? But you're handing kids assault weapons and taking Christmas pictures with them. I mean, you might as well advertise that you're a lunatic. And then you come in and say, oh, there's nothing we could do, man. And my guns is the most important thing in the world. So let's be honest. Right-wingers are saying now, my weapons are more important than your kids.
By the way, Representative Andy Ogles was asked whether he regretted that Christmas photo where he's posing with assault weapons with his children. No regrets. Why would I regret a photograph with my family exercising rights to bear arms, he answered.
Maybe because somebody just took a picture just like, hey, saw your kids with an assault weapon, took their assault weapon and murdered people in your district. But you don't give a damn.
Nope.
You don't give a damn at all. You're sick, you're deranged, you're depraved. And those kids who are dead, you care less about them than you do about your automatic weapon. That's a fact. That's a fact. You say, nope. I want the assault weapons. I want to be able to murder a lot of people at once. So I don't care that your kids are dead. No other country has mass shootings like this because they don't allow assault weapons. They don't allow you to buy a gun without a background check. They don't allow infinite bullets in a magazine. They don't allow any of these things. That's why they don't have nonstop massacres. It's not at all complicated. If you hear anyone in the media debating it as if that's, oh, I can't tell which one is it. It's absolutely the guns. And Republicans value them 1,000 times more than they value their children. That's a fact.
One final thing I want to bring up is how Fox News covered it, because they decided to recycle a talking point that honestly made zero sense, especially in this context. So first, let's watch the video and I'll explain.
The side door, I'm not trying to point fingers. I don't know the exact facts at this moment, but from what I understand, a side door was unlocked. That seems to be a common pattern in many of these shootings, a side door. If we can lock the side doors and make sure that the schools are secure, hopefully we can avoid these tragedies going forward.
Yeah, that's interesting. It appears the side door was locked and the shooter literally shot through the side door. Here's the evidence. There you go. There you have it. You could also see it on camera. The video's been released. Any excuse, any distraction, any deflection to avoid talking about what the reality is here. That these weapons are easily accessible by people who want to carry out harm. And if you are a right-winger who's more concerned with mental health, or at least you allege you're more concerned with mental health, great. Why don't you prove you're concerned with mental health and actually fund mental health services in the country? But they never do. They get together, they always vote down any legislation that would allocate resources for mental health care in this country because they just want the easy deflection, the easy excuse to avoid having to talk about firearms. That's it, that's all it is. Let's just keep it real.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.